It's the Inspired by Joanne show.
Meet your host, certified confidence coach Joanne Dean, inspiring women on the rise. Welcome to another Faith Chat.
Well, hello, Faith listeners. Welcome back to the Inspired by Joanne show. Today's Faith Walker is Dr. Lisa Wyatt. She's a mom, ministry leader, and business owner. Dr. Wyatt was born in Columbus, Georgia, and lived in Germany as a young girl as her father served in the military. She received her Bachelor of Science in Biology from Georgia State University and went on to earn a Doctor of Optometry Degree from the University of Alabama College of Optometry. She has served clients all over the Atlanta area for more than 20 years. Dr. Wyatt is currently a member of Mercies Christian Church. She has served as a small group leader for women's Bible study as well as a mentor for other small groups. She has traveled to Haiti and Guyana, South America to participate in providing eye services to children in disadvantaged areas. She contracts with Eyes Optical Corporation. Dr. Wyatt resides in Atlanta, Georgia with her husband Larry and their two children, Trey and Brooklyn. Let's welcome Dr. Lisa Wyatt. Let's welcome Dr. Lisa Wyatt. Yay! Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Joanne.
You're welcome. So our topic for today is finding harmony between home and the office. And our first question to you is, what fuels your faith?
Well, earlier in my walk with Christ, I always looked to the supernatural things, the tangible things that I thought that I could feel, such as miracles, signs. I always looked for answers to prayer, in a way that I could understand or see or feel tangibly. Over the years, as I've grown with God, I've realized that many of the things in my walk has allowed me to grow closer to Him and allowed my faith to grow deeper in Him. And it didn't depend on the glitz and glamour side of the gospel, the prophecies and the things like that, but it depended more on me going through life's situations and circumstances and God bringing me through those things and seeing people's lives being changed and impacted by the gospel, in my heart for the gospel of Jesus changing over time. And that is the type of thing that really fuels my faith.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like that you have a track record with Him is what keeps the fuel burning and that ignites the faith that keeps you going.
Yes, it really does, because we all have to face challenges and things in life, and just knowing how faithful God is, it really over time, it causes you to go deeper in your faith with Him.
Mm-hmm. What does it mean to be in harmony with yourself in the midst of balancing home life and work life?
Well, what I found in terms of being in harmony with yourself is that that's an ever changing process. It's something that you do have to seek after, because life is full of a lot of different trials, tribulations, things that are also good that are coming your way that may throw you out of balance. There are things that are bad that can come as well. But what you have to do is get into a place where you realize if you're not in harmony with yourself, you're not able to hear from God, you don't have that peace within. You have to start to reevaluate where you are at that time and get yourself back in balance. So I really think that it's a process that is ever going, changing and going on at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think that harmony meant, you're just walking in this perfect space, almost like harps are playing. It's almost like, you're in this type of heaven or nirvana. But what I realized is that that's not really what being in harmony is about, but it's about being able to have that right perspective and being able to have that resilience in life when things do happen to you, and just being able to have that inner peace in your mind and your body and in your spirit.
Mhm. Mhm. One thing I do know about you is
Mhm.
that you are a giver and that you have a servant's heart. How does it serve you to serve others?
Well, early on, as a young girl, when I was like 9 or 10, I always just had a desire to want to help girls, women. I would dream of maybe owning like a home for girls. I didn't know that anything about ministry or anything like that at that time, but I just knew that I wanted to serve in some form of missions. So even early on, I felt that pull or that tug or that call to be able to help other people. That was really a true desire that I had even from a young girl. And so my road to doing that caused me to invest in my education, to become an optometrist. And I used that platform as a platform to be able to help and to serve others and
Mhm.
to be able to provide a service that is valuable.
Mhm. I know you've been on a couple of mission trips. How have that changed your life?
Man, I can tell you the first missions trip that I took was to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and it literally transformed my life when I saw the circumstances that these people had to endure and how they were able to do so and still be grateful to God in those places that we were doing missions. Those people just had such a heart, um, just for the gospel and for each other. And I learned, a lot. It was almost as though my eyes were open to what was going on in the rest of the world, because that had been my only opportunity to really serve in that capacity, to realize what happens in the rest of the world. So it changed my whole perspective, and I had just a renewed commitment to want to help others and to want to be able to spread love and the gospel of Jesus Christ and to help them to be able to see.
Wow, incredible. I can hear the passion rising in you as you reflect and remember that trip. Is there anything, any child that stood out to you in particular?
Yes, I remember the first trip I took to Port-au-Prince was we did school children. We did 82 school children in a courtyard in a house in a school. And I remember two of the kids, they they were just so joyous, and they lived in such poverty, but I remember them impacting my life in such a way. They would just break out and sing these songs. They would be just spiritual songs, and they would just break out in harmony and joy. And I just remember being impacted so much by their little spirits and how grateful they were, what I got from them than they were from what they got from us.
Wow, wow. I can hear the gratitude. I can
Yes.
definitely hear the
Yes.
gratitude. And so, being able to take your business and use that as a platform to still serve and make a difference in others, what challenges you face as it relates to your family and business? Because I know trying to find the harmony in, having a
Wow.
business, serving, and
Yes.
then having your family, which is your first ministry.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what that's been like.
Well, I can say that that has come with its set of challenges. And if I was to be honest, there are times that the work, family balance really gets out of whack,
Mm-hmm.
and there are times that it needs to be put back into check. So the way I operate my business is I want to make sure that the patients that I see, that I serve them well. I go over and beyond the call of duty to be able to provide a quality service and to make them feel as though they're the only person that I'm seeing and caring for and giving them my undivided attention at that time. Now, with that said, there are times that I pour out so much during the workday that when I get home, a lot of times my family may suffer. And what I mean by that is I may be so tired that it's hard for me to give anything else, or I may be short of patience and things like that. It's on those days and during those times that I have to realize that my family does come first, and I have to make adjustments, even if it means to the sacrifice of some of the things that I may do for the business. And so I think that you're always towing the line of keeping that balance, making sure that you make room and put God first, and then really, really not just saying with your mouth that you're putting your family first, but actually putting them first as far as a priority. And then also your work would also be important, and that would come next. But just making sure that you understand what your priorities are, and that when they do get out of whack, that you're able to get them back in harmony. Because if you start to neglect your family, that can go bad really fast.
What brings you the most joy about running the business?
Well, what brings me the most joy is being able to see patients come in and people come in that are looking for a solution to their problem. And they want to be able to see better, or maybe they have an infection, or maybe their vision has decreased and they're trying to figure out why. So I love to be able to have solutions for people in terms of being able to provide eyeglasses, contacts. Also, if they're having decreased vision, to let them know why. If there's a disease such as glaucoma or cataracts or something that may be impacting their vision. And then also just being able to give people hope, because there are situations that I face where maybe the damage is done to their eyes, or maybe they've had some kind of accident and there's loss there. So I try to give people hope even in that. I try to be as positive as I can, relaying the information for them. But I do have a passion and a joy in being able to serve people and to see them being happy and getting solutions to their issues.
Wow. What inspired you to go into optometry?
Well, believe it or not, one of my teachers in the 11th grade really helped me to direct my path in terms of where I am today. Initially, when I was in the 9th grade, I wanted to be a geologist. And so I had said that that's what I wanted to do. And I was determined that that's what I was going to do. And when I got to the 11th grade, I took geology, and this teacher, which was a geologist, and she was back to teaching, she started telling me the realities of being a geologist and how much time I would have to spend out in the field and things like that. And she just candidly told me, she said, well, Lisa, you know what? You just look like the air conditioner type. Have you considered being an ophthalmologist? And I was like, really, like, all this time I've said this, so what am I going to do? And so I started doing research, and I came across an article in the Glamour magazine, which was a very popular magazine back then for teens. And it had optometry listed as one of the top 10 growing and paying professions for women. And it appealed to me because I didn't want to be an ophthalmologist, because I didn't want to do surgery, but optometry just seemed to fit the bill. And from that day on, I was determined to do it. And I did, with the help of God, I did it. School was a challenge for me. It was very hard. I had trials and tribulations during that time, but I was really determined that that's what my life's purpose was.
Well, I am so happy you stuck with that path, because you have helped countless, as it relates to, those that come into your office and those that you serve on the mission field. So thank you for your service, and thank you for sticking with that. And I'm a super fan. So absolutely, I'm a fan of the work you do and the service you provide to so many.
That means a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk a little bit about how do you keep your peace in the midst of all that you do and all that you're accountable to?
Yes. Well, what I've found is in order to keep my peace, I have to stay humble and grounded. I've always been the kind of person that just never got caught up on titles, like being a doctor is somehow, greater than something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a result of that, I'm able to keep the right perspective and just realize that it's just a gift that I have that God has given me.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to keep that peace, I have to keep my focus on God and his goodness and all of the blessings that he's allowed me to endure and to have, and to just be grateful, and just being in a place sometimes of just kind of being still and quiet to be able to receive that peace of God.
Mm-hmm. You are extremely humble. You
Well,
are. You are extremely humble. You really are. I mean, that's definitely a quality that you have. You are very humble. You are very giving. You have the sweetest spirit. You really do. And you are always that way. I mean, you have been that way ever since I've known you.
right.
Yes, yes, yes. You are consistently, just flying under the radar and doing whatever you can do behind the scenes. And so I know that there's so much that you've done that we'll never know about because of who you are and how you carry yourself, and what's important to you. And what's important to you, you have made clear, is not your title, but the work that you do, and that your light shines and
Yes.
be a guiding light to others. So thank you for that. Thank you
Oh,
for that. What a great example you are of that.
thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about parenting, because I know you have teenagers.
Yes,
And
I
so
do.
not only being a mom, and happy Mother's Day, because
Oh,
Mother's
thank
Day is
you.
coming up.
Yeah.
But yes, being a parent to teenagers and running a business. So talk a little bit about, how you manage all of that.
Yes. Wow. That is a big question there. I have an 18-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and it has been a joy to be a parent. But what I can say is being a parent and also running a business does present challenges. And over the years, I've had to really endure a lot of things in terms of trying to keep that work-life balance. Now, things really changed when my kids became teenagers. And I remember when people would say, oh my God, just enjoy those years when they're young, because when they become teenagers, and of course I would laugh, and I really didn't think that it would be as relevant. I don't know if I was being naive. I just thought that, hey, these are beautiful kids. They're growing up great. And when we hit teen years, particularly towards middle school, high school years, then we came up against some obstacles, as a family, and some challenges. And there were times that things were really hard. And at those times, our family had to really depend on our faith. And there were times that I had to lean and depend on my faith when I felt like I was all alone. Me and my husband, together raising teens, has been a very good and rewarding thing. And it's also had its challenges as well. But what I came to realize is that your teenagers are in transition, and they are also trying to find themselves and who they
Mm-hmm.
are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have had to learn how to love, like I haven't been hurt. I've had to learn how to forgive more. I have had to learn how to be understanding and how to be respectful, and how to just accept them unconditionally, like Christ accepted us or myself unconditionally. And I've had to understand that, that's just part of the process.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you said something so powerful. You had to learn to love like you have not been hurt.
Yes.
And I can't imagine what lessons teens will teach you as it relates to loving unconditionally.
Yes, they will.
Wow.
Yes, I would definitely encourage uh, women if they are wanting to pursue a business, even though that they're parents first, to do it because they have something to give. And even though they may not feel adequate, as though they may not be able to balance and do all those things, be a good parent as well as running a business, I say go for it with the help of God. They're going to be able to do it. And like I was talking to you and mentioning before, you just have to realize where your priorities lie.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that being a parent is really your highest priority. And if you're able to keep that perspective, then God will allow your business to prosper at the right time and the right season. So being a business owner, you have to be able to be flexible and to be able to kind of go with the punches, because it's not going to be an easy road, but it is going to be a rewarding road. And it may even give you more flexibility in
Mm-hmm.
time that you can spend at home with your family, that maybe a 9 to 5 type of job or commitment might not allow you.
Mm-hmm. Have you been impacted by COVID-19?
I have. As a matter of fact, I have, our business has been closed since March the 21st, and we are looking to go back on May the 18th. So this is the first time ever that I've had this type of break since I have been working in this profession and since I've owned my business. So it has been a time of searching, a time of just waiting on God, and it has impacted just the way I think about things, how important it has been to be at home, to cook meals for my family, eat meals with my family. And it's allowing me to realize how valuable my patients are and the people that I serve, because I do miss them and I miss that, and I'm ready to get back to it. But I do also feel that I was so burned out that
Mm-hmm.
this time I feel that God did give me as a gift to be able to take a break. And I mean, literally get rest, to be able to finish reading books that I've been trying to read for a long time, doing projects around the house, and just getting a renewed perspective and appreciation for life that I don't think I ever would have been able to get had not this not happened.
Mm. Wow. So you struck a chord right there. You know, just the importance of being able to pour back into yourself. Talk a little bit about what it's like from as you serve from a full cup.
Is when you serve from a full cup, you're able to give a lot more in terms of being sharp mentally, and also, being more assured of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to when your cup is half full. Sometimes you're given, somewhat of like a half effort,
Mm-hmm.
maybe because you're so tired and burned out. You may not have that confidence to really be able to go forward and provide solutions that you would if you have a full cup, or you're operating on a full cup.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you have dropped so many great nuggets. Is there is there anything else you would like the listeners to know about your journey?
Well, I can just basically say that my journey has been good. So no matter, what the ups and downs are, I do feel grateful to live in a great country that we live in, being able to have the opportunity to be able to become an entrepreneur and to be able to help others and serve others. And I just want to encourage other women and men too, if they have a dream to own a business, to go for it. And it doesn't matter whether you're a parent, a single parent, divorce, whatever, God is still able to bring that to pass for you. So just stay focused on what it is that he's given you to do, and don't get discouraged in the process of life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, who passed on faith to you?
Well, definitely my grandmother and my mother. My
Mm-hmm.
grandmother was a strong woman of faith. She had 18 children, and she was a very strong woman. She died at the age of 86 years old, and she would never leave God. She was never too far from God. And that just impacted me, going to church with her when I was younger, and the hymns that they sang, what a friend we have in Jesus, and the things like that just really helped to impact and mold the person that I am today.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome. And so my final question is, what's your favorite scripture?
Corinthians 10:4-5. And that scripture is, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, and pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments, imaginations, or any high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. And the reason
Awesome.
I love that scripture is because I like to know that I don't have to fight in my own strength the battles that happen in life, whether it be COVID-19, whether it be personal issues with my teenagers or business related issues, that my weapons are supernatural and they are given by God. And so the radical side of me loves that scripture, and that's just one of my favorite scriptures.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Where can listeners connect with you and support you?
Okay, well, my business is in Morrow, Georgia, and it is called For Eyes Optical. That's spelled Foreys. And it is located at 1297 Mount Zion Road, and that's in Morrow, Georgia. The zip code is 30260. My office phone number is 770-961-1003. And that city, Morrow, is located near the airport in Atlanta.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us
You're
today.
welcome.
It has been a great pleasure, and I'm sure something that you shared today would definitely impact the lives of other women. Thank you again, and until we meet again, continue to walk by faith. Take care.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for having me.